You should be. It's your chance to take revenge on him for taking your world record.
Yeah, I guess. Well, that was a long time ago, though. That was nearly 3 years ago, so...
Hey man, it could be worse. I will probably have to play Flab next.
Yeah, which is technically way worse now.
Yeah, unless a miracle happens and Keith is amazing.
But yeah...
Oh yeah, wow, Mancha almost TV'd.
Yeah, I know. When I saw him finish like at 43, 47, he told me he has a couple of deaths. I was like, wow. I don't like with how I played. That was the only one was gonna win that. So
yeah.
So like the only 3 stages I actually played well are the 3 stages I actually golded. So yeah, I guess Clockwork Tower was fine. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty funny because all my splits are red, like, you know, strong red.
Oh yeah.
Besides the 3 gold splits, so... Well, actually 2 are light red, but yeah, not much.
Red, gold, red, gold.
yeah, basically it's that. It's just that.
That's the worst feeling. That's the worst feeling. Like, why couldn't this happen in a good run?
Yeah. The death on Spectre, I was like, yeah, this race is over. It's already finished.
Yeah. I was kind of thinking it, but, like, it's a race and this game is hard, so anything can happen.
Yeah. Plague is hard. Really hard. Especially when you're as inconsistent as myself. Because I can be anywhere between near world record and as far as, like, a 50-minute run, so...
Yeah.
I'm insanely inconsistent, but anyway.
Looks like we're gonna have Final Fantasy I Rando coming up next.
Ooh.
So if you're into that, stick around. Otherwise, we're gonna have our next match, which is actually in a few hours. Let me double check. I think it's at 8 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah, 8 Eastern
I think it's 8
on
PM
Speed Gaming 3, I think.
Yeah, and that's gonna be Pikapete versus Lance.
And it should also be pretty good, or a pretty interesting race, because Lance, he started on low percent, and I don't think he's picking up any Arcana in his route.
God bless his soul.
Bless his soul.
And I know how hard that category is, so...
Alright, so they're probably gearing up to start Final Fantasy, so we should probably sign out. I'm Eric DLC, and I will see you guys later.
Pickle Trinicles, and I'll be commentating next match, so I'll see you guys in a few hours.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Well, good evening to all of you fine folks who are watching another edition of the Final Fantasy Randomizer League here on Speed Gaming. I am Trenton, joined by Edge tonight, and we welcome you to what should be a good one. Hi, Edge.
How's it going?
Yeah, pretty good. Hopefully we see a nice, fun race between these runners. We've got 3 of them featured here. Will Bloodworth and Minochi have already logged 0s in this round. Zaunop's still working on 1. So definitely some top-notch runners going at it here.
Yeah, I've been very interested in seeing the different strategies in use specifically for this run. A lot of people are running very, very low-level parties in comparison to what you would see in a normal run, and just kind of riding that razor's edge of how little is too little to actually complete a dungeon. It's been a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, and it's not even just a question of what you need at the very end game, but sometimes these fiends along the way are not particularly kind, and you need some extra firepower to be able to get by them. Now, when I say firepower and you got 3 black mages, boy, that sounds like a lot, but they can't necessarily take a lot of hits. So when you face something that's firing off nuke at you, or thunder, or lit 3, or anything like that, it can be rough on this party. Thank you, Patrice, for the sub to Speed Gaming. We always appreciate seeing them get some support.
4 months in a row. Thanks for the continued support.
We should be getting started momentarily, just waiting on things on the background to get ready. Okay, so being asked in chat what the Phantom is. Phantom is in Temple of Fiends Revisited, so it's the 2,000 years in the past. It's before you would get to any of the Fiends the second time around, and he is the one that guards the way to the plate that you use the loot on. That is a trap tile, so he will always be there. He's a mini-boss. You can fight him as many times as you want to. You just never want to, because he's not worth anything. But he is our nice segue destination enemy that we found we could do reasonably well with this party.
One of the interesting things about Phantom being the endpoint is that you don't need the loot and you don't need the key to finish the game. So the chests that you get from completing the crown quest, that is an entirely optional area. Normally, that's something that every runner will check as part of a regular Final Fantasy randomizer game. But in this round, it becomes an interesting gamble that you can take instead.
Now, when you say that, of course, there's still the same random chance that something like the Flutter gets put behind a key lock that you do need the crown for, but you won't need the key in Temple of Fiends Revisited like you do in a normal playthrough.
Yep.
We are almost readied up with the runners. Still got a little bit more to go. And still more action ahead with this round of the tournament. Next time we're on Speed Gaming is going to be Wednesday at 7 o'clock. We'll be on one of the Speed Gaming family of networks, as my schedule says. So there's plenty more hype ahead for this stage, and let's see, I think it's 4 more races after tonight, maybe 5. Now we got our runners readied up, so we'll be going momentarily. So it's the last week for this stage, and then we roll over to the next stage flags. Worth mentioning that this is a forced party, of course. They have to bring the thief and the 3 black mages. They are allowed to class change. Whether or not they take the time to will depend on a few different things, including how soon they find the tail, what spells are at what level. Sometimes something is class changed that you're really going to want. And you know, if the early level spells are really friendly, maybe you drop one of the black mages and just run a 3-man party.
And the benefit of running the 3-man party is we see Zap in the level 1 shop is that you can get more charges of the later level spells early. But if the beginning level spells are all that you need, then there's no reason to drop the third mage. So you also see the bottle in Conaria, which is going to be important, but likely our runners won't be able to afford that for a while.
Yeah, it is going to be a required item. We just don't necessarily need it right now. Houses aren't going to be affordable just yet, which can affect your strategy a little bit in early game where you want to go. Because, for example, you can come up all this way trying to go to Temple of Fiends, but you can't save right outside of it.
And looks like Minochi elected to go across the early bridge, one of the new conveniences added to the randomizer, while Zalnop is headed up to Temple of Fiends with Will. So we'll see if there's anything valuable in the first 3 chests here.
Yeah, I really wouldn't argue with either strategy. The only thing I wouldn't particularly do with the information we have right now is go to Matoyo's, because I don't have the ability to save and reset. But going to Provoca to look and see what AoEs or items are available there makes sense. Maybe I can get the ship. Or Temple of Fiends might put me in a better position. But I wouldn't consider Zap an ideal spell for dealing with Garland. I would, however, consider TNT in the first 3 chests being pretty optimal, and that's what Zalnop is able to do, and Will Bloodworth will soon follow.
Now, I was curious to see if Zalnop was going to try to zap Garland or just leave. I don't mind this play at all, but it is going to be a little tricky. Zap is one of the less accurate instant death spells, but it is resisted by almost nothing in the game. But gets the zap off first try.
This is a bit of irony. Minochi, who among our featured runners was the one to go to Provoca, ended up taking a wipe before he could get here, so now he's the furthest behind because he's back in Corneria again.
That is one of the dangers with not having a save item on the way to Provoca. That is just a very, very scary run to the finish. A lot of times I would even consider spending about half of my gold on hand just to put a save in the middle of the run, because it's just a lot of steps that you're taking on the way to Provoca.
That's true, especially when you don't know the encounter table yet. This is usually when you're starting to learn how many steps away is that first fight, second fight, third fight. It's kind of your first place to really feel that out. Which may sound weird, but there's so many safe tiles outside Corneria that it can really skew the walk if you don't know exactly where they are. There were not tents or cabins available in Corneria to answer a chat question. There were houses for sale, but on starting gold, that's really expensive. Minochi's made it through to the pirates. He didn't even go to the magic shop yet.
Zap usually good enough, and then you can visit the magic shop once you have the money from the pirates, which is probably Minochi's plan since he has almost no resources to work with. Zalnop is going to have just as easy of a time with the pirates.
Question in chat, is there somewhere that shows what is randomized in this? Well, the easy answer is if you go to FinalFantasyRandomizer.com, you can look at the web-based version of the randomizer, which will tell you all of your options. In this round, we have all the treasures shuffled, the magic spell levels are shuffled. So Nuke can be at level 1. We already know it's not, but it could have been. But level 1 will still be available at Corneria. Zalnop also able to get the ship now.
And we have level 2 Nuke, but Minochi is just 6 gold short of being able to buy that on all of the mages.
Oh, that's okay. He can kill one encounter and he'll be fine.
And it looks like he's going to do some Peninsula power grinding, since he bought 10 cabins as well.
The one thing I'm not wild about with that is maybe not enough base magic points to take up there to do that. And I would have liked maybe 1 or 2 easy levels outside of Provoca first. Then you can take those nuke charges, kill that more enemies on Peninsula Power and get more for your time investment.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. He should... I don't know, it looks like, yeah... Alright, so he still has Nuke, but he has to resort to using Zap on... And it looks like the Giants have not very high HP, so this went very well for Minochi, but he's got to save and go right back now.
Yeah, and he gets very good levels for this encounter, which is what he came here for in the first place. And
So,
make no mistake about it, Minochi is one of our very top-tier runners, so he knows what he's doing.
So I wonder if this is less of a pop grind and more of I'm going to use my nuke charges and then leave. So maybe just a grind of 4 or 5 levels. And I think this is a reasonable play if you don't know where the TNT is, because most of the time, with the knowledge that our runners currently have, at the start it's going to be a Marsh Cave Seed.
So there's a little bit of a conversation going in chat about the skipping of Matoya's Cave. Now, Minochi is not skipping Matoya's Cave, he's just ordering it differently. He came to get the ship first, which makes travel to and from that much more accessible, plus he had no save item, and that's usually a part of what plays into your routing. What many runners will do, and I picked this up after watching people do it, is throw down that save so that I can either walk to Provoca or Matoya's, then I go to Matoya's, if I don't find anything I like, reset, and I'm on the walk to Provoca without coming back, and it saves half the trip.
So now, just off of those roughly 6 giants that Minochi killed, he's got a large pile of money in comparison to everyone else.
Yeah, there's no doubt that's going to leave you in better financial shape, but you can easily spend that much and more.
Ooh, Lit 3 Warp and Zap, or excuse me, not Zap, but Brack, in the level 5 Black Magic shop, and all of those out of the range for Zalnop right now, but certainly worth coming back for.
Yeah, Zap is a biggie. I wonder if he went to Elfland and I missed it, or if he came here first. Well, he had early TNT, so it would make sense to go here first.
And it looks like he had a little bit of tunnel vision on the copper bracelets and bought 2 of those before seeing silver cost, just as much.
Well, Minochi just found an opal bracelet in Matoya's, so that's the main reason for routing that in. Even if it's not a required item, you can get a very beneficial item out of there.
Although, we all know he's just going to sell it anyway.
Maybe. Trying to catch up on what some of our off-stream runners are doing. It looks like Len the Cat is just turning in TNT. And Artea has decided on a Marsh Cave dive. So that could be pretty significant for him.
Well, if he finds anything in the way of progression items, he's going to be the only one.
Lots of runners like avoiding the Marsh Cave for lots of good reason. But if you're in a gambling mood for a race, it is definitely a good play. It lets you get an advantage over people who went for the TNT and went on to the rest of the world. So Will Bloodworth also spent some time on Peninsula Power to get some levels, and the Arachnids have damage poison, that is the poison gas dragons use in Manila, and it is not pleasant.
And I think it was actually the petrification one, as I noticed the first guy in line getting stopped.
Okay, well either one is not a pleasant encounter early in the game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's just pick one. Do you want to die instantly from petrification or damage? Because that's what's going to happen. So
we're about to see Minochi pick up the TNT out of Temple of Fiends. I assume he'd kill Garland. I mean, you have Nuke. Mage Staff in the Earth Cave. That is not one we find early that often, but it's quite useful if you can get it early.
Yeah, any of the spellcasting items allows the thief to be a contributor in battle, as Minochi finds the TNT. And when you can have 4 characters doing useful things instead of just 3, it's pretty nice. Power Staff also found, and that's a good pickup. Looks like Zelnop's just going to reset that out, though, instead of walking the Mage Staff out.
Well, just learned some valuable information off stream. Would you like to guess where the floater is?
It was in Marsh, wasn't it?
It's in Marsh. So, unless somebody else makes that play, it's gonna... Well, nothing's for sure, but it's a huge advantage for Artea.
Well, Tails there, too.
So the floater is one of our required items. It is what allows us to get the airship and open up the rest of the world travel. So that means every runner is going to have to find their way to Marsh Cave as quickly as possible to be able to catch up with Artea. And I think what that might take is a little bit of crown bait. If you found the crown and did the Mystic Key quest, then maybe that would lead you into Marsh.
So with early Nuke and Floater, all that's really left is to find the slab, and the slab is going to have to be sort of the equalizer item that allows everyone else to catch up. It's going to have to be in one of the last places Artea would check.
So, again, it might come down to where the crown is and what it's protecting. Slab is going to be one of the items that allows us to ultimately access one of the required dungeons. It will be in a treasure chest somewhere. They could basically be anywhere in the world.
Yeah, Minochi is definitely going to load up on spells here. If he hasn't sold that Opal Bracelet already, that's going to be on the way out. Vorpal not selling for very much today, and he's headed for the armor shop. Let's see. Picks up silvers. Maybe he sold it already and I didn't even notice.
It's always interesting to see how the logic and approach of these stages changes the more people watch these races back, see what other runners did, and see what strategies they like. So we really saw the Earth Cave trip develop into a major strategy in this stage. A lot of people like to go there. He's still got that Opal Bracelet, thank you very much. But who knows, maybe after tonight, Marsha's going to get a little more love.
Question in chat, is the level up system changed at all for randomizer? It is. There's a boost to the amount of experience you get from fights, and there's also a change made so that you can get multiple levels after a particular fight, which is useful, especially in the case of the Peninsula Power Grind. You saw Minochi gain 4 levels just killing off 2 giants. He would have had to take 4 separate fights before that patch was introduced.
Yeah, so with the randomizer, we have 2 ways of boosting experience. You can boost at a flat rate, meaning every fight will give you this much more experience. So you could add 100 experience to every encounter you have the entire game, or every monster in every encounter, to be more precise. Or you can do a multiplier on the experience from that fight. So if it was going to give you 100 experience, you can get 500 experience for being at the most. Plus, you can add another 100 onto that, and then you get 600 experience to the fight. That's one change. A second change that's happened is the numbers for experience are reduced. So something might only give you 200 and change experience like we just saw from Minochi, and in vanilla, that might have been 600, 800 on vanilla numbers. But it's been scaled back so that there's no experience overflow, meaning too much experience from one encounter for you to get credit for it all. I'm kind of getting in the weeds here, but ultimately it's to make sure you get full credit for every fight you face.
And a canoe for Minochi, and we'll see where he heads after this.
So kind of 3 changes to the experience system that mainly help speed up the game more than anything.
So the big ticket item that we're looking out for here is the slab. If the slab ends up in the hands of one of the featured runners, they will definitely have a chance at catching up to Artea. If the slab turns out to be post-floater, well, that's going to be a lot rougher to catch up.
Yeah, and Artea's route can make such a difference right now if he decides to take full advantage of the floater and maybe get that bottle and go to Sea Shrine. That's going to be a lot different than what anybody else could do, so it could give him early access to the slab, or it could take him in completely the wrong direction. Or he could just say, I'll go to Volcano like I know most other people will, because they can't beat me that way. Such an interesting meta. But I do think he'll go and check the available treasure chests in the Cardia Islands and Titan's Tunnel either way. Because why wouldn't you? They're free treasure. And if he finds the slab in one of those, then this seed is going to be over so fast it'll make your head spin. These Peds are actually one of the best encounters early on for experience.
Yeah.
Minochi, of course, running away from it instead of getting experience, but he's got his levels for now.
Yeah, unfortunately the Peds also rolled very high on HP, so even with 2 nukes, it's not guaranteed to drop them.
4 of them, on the other hand, is a great big pile of experience that's hard to pass up on.
And of course, the Final Fantasy special, you kill all but 1 and then successfully run away.
So we're getting a look at what's in the volcano here. We found a light axe so far. That is a useful item. It'll cast harm 2 and damage the undead. That'll get some use later on. You get that plus mage staff, you're going to clear out most undead between those 2 items. And nothing else special in the big treasure room.
It looks like he is going to take this Pede fight, though. Although this leaves him with only 1 nuke charge, or no nuke charges, excuse me, on the second Black Mage. So he may not be able to take a firefight after this.
Yeah, if I try and read his mind, I gotta imagine the logic is something along the lines of, I'm gonna walk out of here and save the house anyways, get my magic points back before I make a deeper dive into this volcano. Which, by the way, one of the other things that happens with the randomizer is several bug fixes, so one of those that runners might be familiar with from the vanilla game is the house would create your save file before it would restore the magic points. So if you reset, you wouldn't have your magic. That has been corrected in the randomizer, so you get the magic points first, then saves.
Alright, so Minochi has finished the first pass through, and we'll see what the second sweep through this floor. Or no, he's already checked the right side, so down he goes.
If you're here, you're not likely to leave any chests behind.
Especially with access to nuke. The only thing that would give you pause is fighting the fire elementals, but since you have a very, very powerful spell, no reason not to check those chests as well.
Well, it looks like we're getting plenty of peeds in this volcano. So if nothing else, this is going to be pretty nice for the levels. Age of Shield is the best shield in the game for a character you don't have.
Well, at least you can sell it for lunch.
I'll follow that up with the Opal Shield, because why not?
And an Opal Gauntlet.
Lots of great gear for a knight. This volcano just keeps on giving for the knights. Will Bloodworth is doing the Earth Cave dive we mentioned earlier. One of the things we hadn't touched on yet is as they travel through this volcano, they're going to stay in the lava as much as possible, and the short version is it's to avoid as many encounters as possible. So the more you walk in the lava, the less encounters you're going to face. You're also going to take damage, but it's easily healed if you picked up a full stack of heals before you came here, which most runners will. Nochi heading into the Agama room, and we'll see how easy or not they are. Never mind, he's just going to run away. 2 hits from the Agama, so probably not something he wants to fight with this party anyways.
He may be considering just running from everything at this point, having not seen any equipment that he wants to walk out with. That way, if he does end up wiping to carry, he doesn't have any loss of levels on top of the time loss.
Yeah, and thanks to the Peeds he fought already on his first dive, his levels are pretty reasonable at this point.
Yeah, meanwhile, it looks like Zelnap is going to take a couple of nukes and wipe out these Agamas. And with 3 mages at no nuke, he's in a little better shape for taking out Carry.
Question in chat, has the Masamune been found? We have not seen it yet.
There's a little bracelet, though.
Good piece of armor, especially if you don't have the Opal yet. He does, but still, it's an improvement for the Black Mage.
So, Will doing the Earth B2 dive. And we're going to get our first look at Carry, and I think if I was in Mono shoes, I would have moved one of the mages into the back row. But looks like she is not hitting particularly hard, but she did punch the person with the Opal bracelet, so...
Yeah, you figure most of the time 3 nukes is going to be enough to kill her.
Yep.
And it is in this case, so Minochi's going to get the first orb of our runners on stream. And it looks like my question has been answered on Artea's part. He did take the airship to get in the bottle to get the Oxyel, so he has Sea Shrine available. It looks like Minochi didn't get all these treasure chests before, but he's coming back for them now. That's a very reasonable play. Gary gives you the free warp out. You can save again and not be worried about your spell charges because you only had the one house at the time. Now he knows exactly what his resources are to work with.
Yep, and he just has to hope to go first now. Nice.
That's all it took. All that
And-
for a cabin.
Well, he's going to try to walk out this experience, and good luck, friend. Nope, going to check
Or is
this
there one
other
more
chest.
treasure chest?
Yeah. Now he's got no warp charges, though. Oh no! Well, just
Yeah.
reset now.
Yeah,
Apparently,
that's iffy. Was there one more thing you wanted?
well, apparently there was something he wanted to keep. He hasn't checked these chests yet.
That could do it. Zaunop about to get into a fight with Carrie.
And this could be done in one round. If the nukes roll high enough. It's like
Yeah, he's able to
Gary.
He's able to get those 3 nukes off instead of just the 2 Minochi was, but didn't get the rolls.
Carrie.
So it took 4 nukes.
Oh no! Minochi put 2 nukes into that fire elemental, and it wasn't enough.
Wow. I thought you were reacting to the wizards on Will's side, which apparently have fire too, so that doesn't make the Earth Cave pleasant at all, and it makes me wonder how that Marsh Cave actually went for Artea.
Well, as long as he went first in the turn order, he probably never saw it.
Good point, he would have had nuke at that time. That'd be amazing, though, if he just happened to get there to not even find that out. Not that that was necessarily the floater chest, but usually you would have checked all of it, especially with nuke. In response to chat, yes, it's pure insanity that a wizard would be able to cast a spell. I know. For those not familiar, in vanilla Final Fantasy, they did not. So Zaunop is trying to get somewhere on just the strength of the 2 black mages right now.
The one of which is asleep.
He's just resting his eyes.
Well, he's going to be taking the big sleep now.
So will Minochi go to Ice Cave or will he go somewhere else?
So, depending on where Minochi goes from here, this is an opportunity to catch up as we see Artea in the doing the volcano trip right now. And as long as Slab isn't in one of those 2 chests that he left behind, this is an opportunity for him to catch up.
Artea is going in there at a lower level though, so anything Minochi struggled with, Artea is likely to as well. But where do you go next? And it looks like Minochi is going to the Ice Cave, and I'm not sure if finding Slab there would be a good thing or a bad thing.
From the perspective of it being an optional dungeon, I think it's a good thing. Really, you should be doing, if you have access to the other Fiend dungeons, it makes sense to clean those out first before you finish the side dungeons. Simply because they have more chests, and you have to go there anyway.
Still, when I think of the overall knowledge that we have, not what Minochi has, I think the best way this could work out for him is if Crown is here and he takes that and Artea doesn't. But time will tell.
And I think you would be much more likely to take the Crown chain if you found it and you had the airship, as opposed to if you didn't.
So we have several runners competing in this race, 3 of them featured for us here. Will Bloodworth has put up a win in this round already, so he has given himself the best score that he can for the round. Minochi has as well, although he didn't actually get a win. He was in second place, but he was so close in his second place, he still got a 0 for it.
Yeah, 0.01 being as low as you can get for a chaos point, and Minochi got the benefit of rounding down with I think it was a 0.034.
It was low, any way you want to say it. In fact, it's Artea and Minochi, I think, right now, who are in the Club 0, right, if I'm not mistaken. Our two runners who have 0s for the entire league so far.
Yep.
Apparently I missed this when I was looking at something. Quad X on the mummies. This is a really unpleasant ice cave. Well, the wizards have fire too. I don't know if Minochi's seen that yet or not.
And Ice Blue made it through the top floor without seeing any of that. So he's in pretty good shape. But yeah, Minochi is just having very, very poor luck with the turn order here.
So it looks like they also have Stinger as well, which is AoE, consuming a lot of time, and poisoning you when it lands. So they are a really unpleasant encounter either way. A lot of action going on at once that we have to try and keep up with, but hey chat, if you see anything we didn't, please feel free to let us know and we'll give it its due. Did Minochi get a charge of warp from his levels?
Yes. He had, at least on the single black mage that survived the carry fight, he had 2 charges of warp.
Okay, so that's going to set up something that's very fun to look at. And if you've never seen this strategy before, what you're about to see from Minochi is... I don't even know how to describe it, but it's just entertaining, amusing, exciting, and you'll absolutely love it the first time you're able to do it. Zalnop, meanwhile, has gone to Ordeal Castle, and not usually where I like to go on my second play, but we haven't seen anybody else do it, so this has the potential to work out for him.
Now, interesting thing, Zelnop ran away from, as Minochi does the warp trick, standing on top of the hole here.
Gets the defense sword, which is a utility item. It's not great. It'll let you cast ruse on the user, so it's helpful. And specters have squint, so we can add that to the list of things that's in this ice cave.
So far, pretty awful. But the point I was going to make is Zelnop ran away from a couple of Soria enemies outside of Ordeals, and those enemies are some of the best as far as experience efficiency goes. They're only slightly worse than Agamas, and you get them in a 2-pack. So it is worth taking a little time to know some of the more efficient experienced monsters on the overworld, just in case you run into like a double sandworm or double Saria.
My one question, though, as Minochi finds the adamant, is did Zalnop save outside of Ordeal, or did he try and set himself up to reset if he doesn't get anything useful here?
He should be okay if he set himself up to reset, as long as there isn't anything that's going to murder him outright.
Yes, but that would certainly affect his desire to take an encounter.
That is true. Oh, our bones have toxic.
Oh my. This ice cave just keeps on giving. Because the other thing he hasn't done is he hasn't reset as the pillar maze hasn't worked out for him. And that affects your encounter rate. That there's a small chance of soft lock that shouldn't. actually come into play, but it could.
Paralysis touch on the mages, which is awful considering that they will almost always ambush you. And Minoshi really should be healing up that mage in the second slot there. No time for lunch, though.
It's always time for lunch.
And this is exactly why, because a Fire 2 could wipe him out in one shot. Oh, 1 health. And now down he goes.
Yeah, I don't think he has any fear of 3-manning it, but to only have one black mage to carry you through the rest of this way could be difficult. Nice thing about not having to do the fight with the eye is it didn't just avoid one encounter, it actually avoided 2 forced fights. There's the mage encounter alongside that right side chest you're able to avoid.
Oh, and I see why he didn't heal up. He couldn't. That's it.
Well, that'll do it.
Oh, our bones.
That's a bad day.
Yeah, that's bad. So he should be able to check these last 3 chests, but...
Oh no.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no. That is the
the
worst case scenario, because I think you gotta leave.
Yeah, I think so.
You could maybe squeeze those 2 out if you ran straight for it and ignored everything else, but I don't think it's really worth it for 2 treasure chests. It's kinda, you just have to ask the question, how much time would I put in? And called it on Zalnop's side. He actually was saved back in Elfland. Oh! Oh, I love it! He's making the right play! He's going to Marsh! That is big for Zalnop.
Yeah, this is actually a very efficient way to check both Marsh and Ordeals together. I like it. I like it a lot.
Very well done on his part. To finish the thought on Minochi, you have to make the consideration, how much time do I invest in 2 treasure chests? Because that's what you're doing. It doesn't matter what else you checked. If you're not going back for any of it, it's, am I willing to walk through that cave just to get 2 treasure chests? And the answer for him is no. So what Zalnop did to complete this thought is he was saved back at the inn at Elfland by not saving... Hey, Carrie had Blizzard, by the way. By not saving anywhere to or outside of Ordeal, he was able to immediately reset back to Elfland, which saved him that entire trip. And it makes a lot of sense to try something like that when you know that Ordeal is not incentivized, which in this case just means it's not guaranteed to have something valuable, it's just the same chance as anywhere else. So it works out very well for him. Quicklet is somewhere in the ice cave now. Len the cat is in Ordeal. And we continue to see Zalnap working on the Marsh Cave.
Yep. Also joined by Lord Fizzlebeef in the Marsh Cave as well, so he should be finding that floater fairly soon. And Ice Blue is also in Marsh.
Meanwhile, Artea is at the Waterfall Cave where he's going to be able to pick up the cube and a few more treasure chests. So it's interesting to hear that so many runners have gone to Marsh Cave, because certainly they have not gone through Volcano, Ice, and Earth before doing that.
Well, Artea just found the crown.
Well, I think that just took away most people's best case scenario.
Yep, crown in Waterfall.
Well, nothing is set in stone, but that is certainly a good advantage for Artea. Zalnop finds the tail. So here's the good news, is because Artea went to Volcano, Zalnop's routing here works out pretty well. He's not going to be far behind Artea, really. For as long ago as Artea got the floater. He's only got one orb, and he's picked up the cube and the crown, and that's really the only difference between where he is and Zaunup is as soon as he picks up that floater.
And it looks like it's going to come down to routing from here on out.
So, this is why you don't quit and you don't write anybody off too soon, is because even though that looked like a pretty big advantage for Artea when he got the airship, he's only got the one orb right now, so he's got some things, but I don't know that that's more than a 3 to 5 minute lead over Zaunup if we tried to quantify it right now, as Zaunup gets the floater. Now, of course, everything can change, and probably will.
It's very likely that Slab is going to end up in Sea Cave, but between the treasures that we haven't seen in Earth and the treasures that are in the crown chests, it's more likely that Slab isn't in Sea. Not by a very large margin, but appreciably enough.
No warps from Zaunup, and come to think of it, he didn't use it in Ordeal either, which would have been quite beneficial for navigating the pillar maze faster, so I'm guessing he never picked it up.
Yeah, I think Minochi, being the only one who had any reasonable amount of money going into Melman, was the only one that picked it up.
So, we have one required item that is yet to be located, and that is the slab. Everything else that is required, we know where it's going to be already because it involves NPCs, and in the current version of the randomizer, there's no shuffling of their items. Current viewers, stay tuned for more. So with the slab, we know it could be in the depths of the Sea Shrine. We know it could be in one of the rooms that is locked by the Mystic Key. And the other possibility is it can be in the Earth Cave. So if somebody gambles on a full Earth Cave exploration, that could potentially open things up a little.
Meanwhile, Artea visiting Mermaid Side first.
Well, you keep an eye on that. I'll keep an eye on what we're seeing here. Zaunup wants those warp charges now, thank you very much. Picks up a couple as Minochi is going to head for Marsh Cave.
Artea finds the Power Gauntlet and just leaves it go with 3 casts of Nuke. Don't really need it. Does find a ribbon, though.
Zaunup going to give us our first look at what's in Titan's Cave, that we've seen on stream at least.
And there we have it, a near vanilla slab.
Not random enough. Who rolled this thing?
That was me.
Well, the good news is for Minochi is he's going to get his floater out of here, and he's going to be able to get it pretty quickly. Bad news is we don't know if he's going to go to Sea Shrine next, which is going to be the play. I don't think too many runners are going to take the crown play. But from a logical perspective, if Zaunup is indeed going to do the full Earth Cave, I actually really like that play if I were in his position, because it gives him that quote-unquote chance to win. We just happen to know that it's not going to work out.
Question in chat, where was Slab? Slab was on the mermaid floor in Sea Shrine.
Yeah, we are monitoring the non-featured runners as well, so we kind of have an idea of what's going on with the total race. One of those runners is Artea, and he was the first to find the slab. So things look pretty good for him right now. There's still ways, though, that the seed can hold a runner up. No lead is safe, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, a lot of the nastiness, or potential nastiness, we have not seen yet, as Will finds the adamant. And it could very well hold up people in either Sea or Sky Castle.
We have seen Blizzard, Toxic, and Poison, but there's plenty of other ones out there like Thunder, Death Touch, Stone Touch. This game can give you a very rough time. Will Bloodworth getting an unrunnable encounter with these Frost Giants and Frost Wolves, which is exactly what it sounds like. When you get that encounter, you can't run from it. Minochi's got another one with those wizards.
And Minochi's going to find the floater very soon. Zelnap, unfortunately, is not going to find very much on his tour through Earth. Probably best case would be Mazmune or Ribbons.
Yeah, maybe 2 ribbons would be best case scenario. You're certainly not going to shake your fist at Masamune anytime you get it, but that magic defense from the ribbons could be extremely valuable in the right situation. Alright, Will's going to give us a look at the 2 chests we didn't get to see. Tent and an ice sword.
Minochi discovering that he only has 2 warp charges and has to walk the rest of the way.
Well, if you have to walk 1 floor of Marsh Cave, this would be the one. Chad questioning the validity of the Masamune, and I just have to say to that, Masamune doesn't run out of spell charges.
Well, the other benefit to that is it also gives you single target physical damage coming off of the thief, which is also always useful. Any items that you can get to make the thief the contributor is going to save you time if you have to take a fight. May not save you a lot of time, but it will save you time. And it's like Will took a wipe up there, and it's gonna leave Ice Cave.
Yeah, that had to have been on his walkout anyways, so he knows there was nothing in there that he wants. But Minochi about to turn in his floater, and then what will his destination be?
Looks like Zelnap took a wipe and has to start Earth Cave over again, so Earth Cave proving to be a very, very unpleasant environment.
Yeah, his was to those poison arachnids, but we also know that the wizards are here. Up to packs of 4. That could be very unpleasant. And maybe discovering that he didn't have all of his equipment set. Alright, where's Minochi gonna go? Does he not know where the bottle is? Because he came to Gaia without it. He's looking for pro rings and he found them.
Yeah, definitely not a bad pickup for everybody. One of the more efficient pieces of armor.
Chat telling us that Minochi did buy the bottle already. In that case, this makes perfect sense. Also selling off some of the opal gear he can't use for a great big pile of money that he can. Also, everybody say hi to the vampire. And bye to the vampire.
And say goodbye to the vampire's retirement savings. Paltry 897 gold.
He didn't invest it very well. There were better options.
Well, I mean, he bought high on Bitcoin, and that's what happened.
So Minochi is about to get the Oxale. If he's going to follow this train all the way, then he's probably going to find Crown in the waterfall, and then dive into Sea Shrine.
Yeah, so if his intent is to go straight to Sea Shrine after checking Cardia Islands, he'll be in pretty good shape.
So there's two reasons that runners don't like to do Earth Cave early. One is how spread out it is, and you're just hoping to avoid that. The other is, if you're higher levels, then this is just so trivial, and you're not going to get high levels to make Sea Shrine trivial, so might as well have one place be trivial instead of no places being trivial. Kind of logic as it is. So what Zalnop is doing here is strategically a very good choice in setting himself up. If something had been here, he'd have possibly been the only runner in the race to do this, and that looks like what we've seen. We just happen to know that according to this seed, that one's not going to work out for him. But hey, considering that like the last 4 or 5 of these, the floater's been in Earth Cave, it's hard to blame him.
It seems like the volcano has just been a no-fly zone, which is surprising considering with 30 chests in the volcano, it's most likely out of any of the locations, but I mean, it is over a large sample size, it will be most likely, but that is the sort of the charm of the randomizer and having a league run with a small sample size. You can have variants like this that forces you to really consider how you're playing your game.
Minochi did class change, which, by the way, is going to give him one more caster of Nuke, up to 4 charges. But none yet, so there's no priority in going to learn it.
So question in chat, is Minochi way ahead? Minochi will be ahead as soon as he picks up the slab, but out of the other runners, Artea is in the lead, and then Ice Blue, Minochi, and Zelnop are sort of roughly in the same area.
Zelnop, though, being in the wrong part of the world to find Crown or Slab. That's going to change, basically, as soon as Minochi picks up the slab. Will finds the tail as he's diving the marsh cave, and soon will get his floater as well. Taya actually working on the Lich fight right now. So he's not that far ahead of Zalnop. But he's got his Earth Orb restored. In fact, that was orb number 3, so he is closing in on this.
Yeah, just needs to get the slab translated, get the chime, and then head up to Mirage Tower, and he can close this out fairly quickly.
Here's these arachnids being jerks again. And Will is able to find his floater now. Not warping out of it, and that probably takes a little bit of discipline as Minochi finds the crown. Go ahead and make sure you check that last treasure chest. Just be sure you aren't leaving something behind.
And now Will is out with the floater. Minochi picks up his cube, and it remains to be seen where Minochi will go from here.
So Zaunap has done one of the required steps, which is to, well, he hasn't completed it yet, but we expect him to soon finish this Lich fight and restore the Earth Orb. The thing of it is, when Minochi and other runners come into this Earth Cave, they're going to be able to get through it so much faster than Zaunap did by not checking those treasure chests. Now, where does Zaunap go with his 2 orbs? Doesn't have crown or slab, so I think logically that does take him to the bottle in the sea shrine.
It makes the most sense from his perspective. The most amount of chests.
Minochi is going down the wrong chain. It looks like he is heading to see the old king in the northwest castle who's asked about a crown.
And from Minochi's perspective, I don't hate this play. It is a bit of a gamble, but you have to consider if you found Floater in Marsh late, and you know that is typically an area that Artea likes, you kind of have to take a gamble to catch up. And if Minochi's plan is to either win or go home, then this is a good play. Because I don't think he's going to catch up. I think if he thinks Artea found Floater early, he knows he's not going to catch up now.
Yeah, so from that perspective, it makes sense, because all Minochi can do is win to benefit himself. He can't get a better score in this round than he has. So he's just trying to keep other runners from being able to get one. Artea doing the same. And it is a perfectly valid and allowed strategy in the league. Zaunap is going to turn in the tail on his part.
Minochi picking up Nuke for the ninja.
So in, what is it, 8 level ups, maybe 9? He'll have 4 nuke charges. If he gets that many level ups. Actually, I don't think he'll even get high enough levels to get maximum, because it doesn't start at like level 15.
Yeah, so, but as long as he has one, that will allow the thief to do some damage output during the remaining fiend fights. And that's really all that you can ask for. Especially if he's going to be the one in the front row, he's going to get punched out afterwards, so one is really all that you need.
Alright, so Minochi has gotten the herb, which will wake up the prince. The prince will give him the key, and then he will start checking treasure chests. And we kind of have... we mentioned this, but haven't spent too much time on it. We haven't found a ribbon yet. And ribbon is often considered one of the most important items in the game for its magic defense and status protect. Not having that for some locations could make them extremely difficult. So if Minochi's able to pick up 1 or 2 of those, that is still a potential advantage.
Artea managed to find one in C, but none of the other runners have, so that will definitely be an advantage for Minochi over the rest of them.
Oxyel obtained for Zaunap. And got a figure from here, he's planning to go to the Sea Shrine. Maybe a waterfall first. If you only need one item, it makes perfect sense to go to the waterfall first, because if you can go through all of Sea Shrine without having to check treasure chests, it's, again, significantly faster. But Minochi finding just absolutely nothing in these crown treasure chests so far. We're missing a lot of good treasure, actually.
Well, it's probably all in Sky, and we'll never see it.
Yeah, and some of it could be in Temple of Fiends, revisited, in the chests we never check.
Question in chat, Masmian still hasn't been found? Yep. And that could be pretty much anywhere. Could even be in Temple of Fiends. I do remember finding it there in a couple of my runs.
Could be all the way in that vanilla treasure chest. I always thought that was kind of rude of the game to give you that weapon and no time to appreciate it. So gotta figure from here the only play for Minochi is to go to that Sea Shrine. But he's done everything now except for the crown-locked marsh cave. Which, going with your logic earlier, would actually make sense to check before going to Sea Shrine. But will he? Zaunop getting a unpleasant experience from these mummies.
No, that is a rough enough group, especially in a 7-pack.
Will picks up the cube, and he's also about to find the crown. Zaunop just found it. And Artea just got his 4th orb, so he'll make his way to Temple of Fiends.
So I think if you would have seen Artea finish already, no runner would take the crown gamble. But right now, it is an option that's open for both Will and Zelnop. Zelnop electing to skip out. We'll see where Will goes.
Well, he's visiting the clinic first to get his runners, his party members back. Guess you could check for Ice 3 or Lit 3 here. Won't find him.
Oh, and Will is going to turn in the crown as well.
Will does already have a win out of this round, so he can't improve any. So much like you said with Minochi, it makes a certain amount of sense to do this. Now will Zaunop go to the mermaid side, which is what he needs.
Yep, he's headed there right now, so Zelnop in pretty good shape as long as he doesn't run into any nastiness on the way through sea. And of course, as soon as I say that, there's a water elemental.
The water elemental is unrunnable, and usually one of the more unkind unrunnables. Looks like this one's loaded up on some hit points.
Yeah, good thing that Zelnop went back for Ice 3.
Paying its dividends. So the other thing is, for Minochi, he pretty well knows that Slab has to be here, because the only other place it could be is the bottom of Marsh.
And of course, he's going to check the crown lock chest first, it being his last hope.
Yeah, that was another potential way for it to be an advantage for him, but Artea is able to take down The Eye, he finishes with a time of... Not I, the Phantom. 1 hour, 5 minutes, 32 seconds. And we'll probably see some of the other runners withdraw if they have nothing to gain, like a Minochi or Will. We'll see. I think Minochi, though, at least wants to know where this slippery little slab is at.
Ooh, Arsahag with cremate, and this is non-trivial either. Zelnot finding slab and immediately running out. Now, is he going to warp all the way out and save? Yes.
Makes a lot of sense when that's your go mode. Although he's walking by the inn. Oh, he's restoring somebody first. Okay, that's fair enough.
And that makes sense. Bringing the full party down for the Kraken fight.
Nobody ever said, if only I had more firepower, if only I had less firepower to take on this Kraken fight with.
I don't think the Inn and Onrak gets enough credit. It really is luxurious. Minochi nuking down a group of ghosts here. Another fine unrunnable in the Sea Shrine. One of the roughest things about the Sea Shrine is that it is around the neighborhood of 40% of your encounters on a couple of the floors are unrunnable. So anytime you can do encounter manipulations to kind of put long runs on particular floors, it's going to benefit you a lot more in Sea Shrine. Sea Shrine and Temple of Fiends being the two areas where it really pays off.
And Ice Blue has decided not to continue, so he's the first of ours to withdraw. Quicklet has also withdrawn. So Minochi is about to find the slab. He's in the right floor. And there it is, slab for Minochi.
Alright, so now a pretty big foot race in between Minochi and Zelnop, and we'll see Zelnop with the one fiend lead, but Minochi going to be able to complete that in go mode, and we'll see how this goes.
So it looks like Lord Fizzlebeef is fighting Kraken at the moment. Meridian, who is one of our dev team, has run this race as well, and he has just done class change. And I think Len is taking the crown bait, but I'm not sure.
Yep. So Fizzlebeef is in pretty good shape as well, but he only has 2 orbs lit, so they'll be very close between the 3 here to see who finishes. And it looks like Fizzlebeef is going to go take care of Earth since he's in the neighborhood from translating the slab.
One thing for Fizzlebeef, though, being in go mode, obviously it's going to be Sky Castle, but I assume the other one he doesn't have is Earth Cave. All these dungeons are much quicker when you're in go mode, and you don't have to check treasure chests. Really, Volcano, I think, is the only one where you wouldn't save a ton of time. You would still save time, but not that much.
Yeah, it is not very often that you get to go mode volcano, but when you can do it, you do save a decent amount of time. Zelnop is not even going to bother opening these chests on the way down. So probably won't get a look into the old Sharknado room.
You can get that one for free, but he doesn't. I love that I've converted you to calling it the Sharknado room, by the way.
No, we'll get people to adopt that name soon enough. I'm going to keep saying it until you like it.
Is that Artea?
Good morning,
GG
sir.
Artea.
Thank you, sir.
So Marsh Cave, huh?
Well, it's a very me thing to do, so I was pretty happy with how that turned out.
Yeah, it didn't surprise me.
It's a very...
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I had some noise from other programs, I didn't catch that.
No, what I was going to say was it didn't surprise me, knowing that, having not seen Matoya, Dwarf, or Temple of Fiends, the odds were that the TNT were going to be in Marsh most of the time. So, ended up working out beautifully for you.
Yeah, I'll pretty much always skip Dwarf, or at least skip one, unless the spells are really terrible and I'm shopping for a spell item. But then I'll either check Temple of Fiends or Matoya, or one of the two, and then just dive down straight to Marsh. In this case, I went to Pirates, checked Matoya, and then went straight to Elf. And once you picked up the floater, I mean, you have level 2 nuke. The rest of the seed is free. It's just the floater's a bit trolly if you're the type of person that will just check every other check.
Chat's been asking for this all night. We finally found the Masamune in the Sea Shrine. It's interesting, Zelnop just got...
Zelnop just took a wipe.
Oh! I thought he had just gotten his orb.
Oh,
Did he
no!
lose to Kraken?
No, he got into an encounter on the overworld and didn't save. So when he reset out, when he lost it. He lost the entire progress. Yeah.
That is unfortunate. Your heart goes out to him because I think we've all done that at some point.
Oh, absolutely. That's unfortunate, though.
So, Artea, was your play to Marsh looking for TNT, figuring it wasn't going to be early, or see if you could find something else?
I mean, it's always statistically more likely to be in Marsh, and you're always going to pick up some gear or some gold or something in it anyway, so most of the time I'm going to dive it. It's not really shopping for anything other than that.
Biggest difference for Minochi was following the Crown Trail. He got the key and went and checked everything.
So would you have still dived it if TNT was in Matoya's, or would you have done a dive somewhere else?
It would probably have been Earth.
We actually saw Zelnop make the full Earth dive once he had the airship, which I admired. He gave himself a chance. Just didn't work out on this one. Has anything in your routing particularly changed as you've played more of this round?
Not really. Honestly, no. I'm definitely taking less fights since you don't need the endgame experience, and your entire party is really good at running away. But outside of that, no, I can't say anything comes to mind.
That's fair enough. Have you looked into any of the next round yet, or still too early for that?
Well, we've been before the league started, we were running pretty much every stage just as practice or to try the flags out or whatever. The next one is definitely going to be my least favorite because, as everybody knows, I really hate black belts. but the ones after that should be a fair bit of fun.
Yeah, that one will be distinctly lacking on magic. Will is now into the Kraken fight. Did Binochi reset out of Earth Cave? I was looking something up real fast. I thought he was further along. Fizzlebeef, meanwhile, has just picked up the chime, so should be making his way into Mirage Tower, and I think that's his last dungeon.
No,
chat saying Minochi didn't get the rod. That would be an issue.
Oof. And looks like Ice Blue's booted up Zelda too.
Yeah, we're kind of addicted to it right now.
So, did you do a 3-person party this round, or did you keep all the mages alive?
No, with level 2 nuke, I just kept all the mages around.
That was my suspicion, that you decided, depending on the strength of the magic, whether or not to keep people party members alive.
Absolutely. It was a bit annoying getting the first warp charge, but it worked out. It worked out all right. Thankfully, houses were pretty cheap, so I didn't have to rely too much on that.
A question in chat: what happened with Zaunap's run? Zaunap, after defeating Kraken, died to an overworld encounter, unfortunately, and he hadn't saved yet, so he was going to have to redo the entire Sea Shrine, basically, to do that fiend, and that didn't seem very appealing at this point. And who can blame him? Okay, we're getting a better explanation from Zaunup now. Apparently he used a tent, but the save didn't take. So when he reset from an unrunnable encounter, he found out that he had lost everything. So wow, you can't do much more than that.
Oh gosh, Len getting ambushed by these lobsters, and I think this is going to be it.
The question is this solo thief going to be enough against Kraken? Will picked up the white shirt, so he's got his evade up. Still not that many hit points to try and whittle this Kraken down with. Should be with Masamune, though.
Well, the scariest thing is whether or not this skill list loops around, because I definitely saw Thunder in there.
Don't know if he would have that ribbon on the thief. He could maybe live through one. So script shuffle on, enemies get things they don't normally have. And Kraken still has a chance to hit Will, but Will got through it. Just don't forget to heal after this fight. And he does not.
Yeah, he's not taking any chances. There are on the way to the pedestal. There are no safe tiles, so you can get into an encounter in Kraken's room.
A question in chat if anyone else went to ice, and yes, we did see a couple runners go there. Minochi actually died without checking 2 of the treasure chests, and Will full cleared it and then died. So there was plenty of death in that ice cave. Minochi has got his Earth Orb. And I just realized, of course Will won with just the thief. He is the master of the solo thief runs, after all.
Seems pretty appropriate.
A translated slab for Minochi. And he's a chime away from being able to go for his final orb. A lot of runners taking advantage of this Masamune chest.
Yeah, I think I managed to convert Edgeworth to the beauty of Brack in the last week.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely sold. Although, it seemed
How'd
like
that
we had a. Oh, go ahead.
No, I think you were going to the same place. I was probably just going to say it more sarcastic, so you go ahead, Edge.
Yeah, it seemed like it didn't quite work out this time.
Well, I worked on Kraken, but Tiamat wasn't having any of it. But, you know, when Bracken Quad X fails, you have Nuke.
Actually, you got him with Quad X, didn't you?
Yeah, I think so. Nuked him
Maybe a
couple
couple
of times.
nukes later.
Yeah.
And Len is not going to get to use that Maznoon because the ghosts decided, hey, I'm going to crit you for around 300.
Yeah, the ghosts were pretty rude.
Yeah, they're an enemy group that is particularly scary in this seed, just because you're running for brittle party classes.
They're really susceptible to stat scaling. I mean, their vanilla stats are already scary enough. Them and lobsters are just incredibly scary whenever you scale stats up north of 200.
Yeah, the lobsters tend to roll multiple hits that hit very hard, and God help you if the ghosts roll multiple hits.
So Fizzlebeef is working through the top floors of Sky Castle now. He should be soon to the Tiamat fight. Len is almost here to Kraken, and Minochi about to enter the Mirage Tower.
Alright, see if Len is going with nuke strats. No Breck strats today.
Well, no thief, so you can't moss me in strat. Will proved that could work here, though. And I guess Will hadn't found the slab here yet. Came to the vanilla spot here where he just finds some gold. 13 hits for 700 damage. This this Kraken knows how to hit.
Don't tease the octopus kids.
That's a little rude.
That's gonna kill a lot of light warriors, even if they're armored up.
And looks like Will is still going to clean out this floor, which is good because he'll find a ribbon in the last chest he checks.
No encounters here, so it makes sense.
Question in chat: why 3 black mages? All of the party members are forced for this round of the league, so every runner has to choose a thief and 3 black mages. It's just part of the challenge.
My Z2 race is starting, so good night. Thanks for commentating and hosting us.
All right,
And
good night,
good luck to the rest
Artea,
of
and we'll see you down the line.
Yes, sir. Good luck to the runners on finishing this up.
All right, yeah, GG RTA, thanks for stopping by. Good luck
Thanks.
on your run.
Thank you, sir.
Also, a good reminder that we need to say thank you to Speed Gaming for hosting us tonight. We greatly appreciate it. Chat, how about a nice round of thank you, Feasels? Because we are always glad when Speed Gaming partners with us. Minochi getting past tonight with just 3 people, so free experience, basically.
And looks like Fizzlebeef is cutting his way through some gas dragons right now, so he is very close to finishing this out.
Yeah, he was able to get to that slab faster than anybody else, so... obviously this is a league race, so we're competing for that, but we still have second place on the line, so for those of you who like to have an SRL ranking, there's still plenty of room to gain on this. And also a question of how close is Minochi going to finish to that? as Minochi is almost there. Looks like no Warmax today.
Nope. And, well, time to warm up those Brack strats.
And a GG to Lord Fizzlebeef, who just finished in second with a time of 1 hour, 25 minutes, and 47 seconds. So well done to Fizzlebeef. And Will Bloodworth now into the Earth Cave to go after orb number 3. Question, what is the goal on this randomizer? Well, in this race, the goal is to defeat a monster called Phantom, which is in Temple of Fiends Revisited. The randomizer itself is just to make the game new and interesting by shuffling everything around, including enemy skills, stats, spells, etc.
And we're joined now by Lord Fizzlebeef. GG.
Yeah, thank you.
So, when did you end up finding the floater? How many other checks did you make before?
I full cleared Volcano and I full cleared Ordeals, and then I went to Marsh.
So that was pretty solid then. You found it, I would say, earlier than most.
That's kind of what I was figuring, because everyone has been doing Earth dives, either short or long. If the Ruby was an Earth, it was probably going to make them take even longer. I never opened anything in Earth, so I don't know. And then I decided to go Mermaids first instead of bottom of Sea Shrine. And as soon as I found the slab, I don't think I opened another chest after that.
It seemed to work out pretty well for you. Were there any areas that you had any trouble going through, or did it feel pretty straightforward?
Oh, absolutely. Sea Shrine was monstrous. The red Sahags with cremate spam was a little rough. And I think I had 3 wipes in Volcano. Peds hit like trucks.
How stocked were you for nukes when you went into Volcano? Were you low double digits, mid double digits? What kind of levels were you looking at?
I think I rolled into Volcano at level 6, level 5, one of those. But
well,
I had
wouldn't be very many nuke charges.
No, but I did also roll in with 3 houses, so I hit. I basically cleared the second floor and then ran out and saved. I was down to 2 black mages at that point, and then they got super stacked by the time I made a run at carry.
Looks like Minochi is currently on the Phantom floor right now, and having a little bit better encounter luck. Runs into a pack of bad men, but it's better. Oh, jeez. Oh, not when they hit for 3 for 246. Yikes.
Yeah, the gas dragons were super paper. I was pretty happy about that.
Oh, jeez. He's down to one black mage already. But picking up nuke on the thief paying off, and he finishes in 3rd place with a time of 129.02.
So if that had been for the lead, that would have been very close between the two of you. Out of curiosity, what was the hardest you saw Kraken hit for, if you even did?
I did a lot, because I hatched upon the brilliant plan to not go to Melmond until I had the slab. So I hit Kraken without Brack, and yeah, don't recommend. I think he hit for... Like, he one-rounded every single person he hit, so... No, except the last... except my last black mage, he got a real soft hit and brought him down to low double digits, and I got a lucky nuke off for the victory.
Oh, wow. We saw a nice 1,300 damage hit from him.
My Jesus.
Alright, and Looks like we're going to get joined by Minochi here. GG on the third place.
GG.
You finished that one out. Talk to us about the decision to take a crown instead of going into Sea Shrine.
I was behind, so I have to gamble on the crown.
Show very grateful that you allowed him to live in this one.
Oh yeah, he was useful in this game. He got nuked.
So, what stood out to the most of you for this run, Minochi?
I died again, a few steps away from getting the last 2 chests in ice.
Oh, that's true. For what it's worth, we did get to see those, and they just didn't have anything at all.
That's good then. At least there wasn't a ribbon there, was it?
No, there was just literally nothing. We
I don't
only
think
found
I-
2 of the 3 ribbons.
I was gonna say I don't think I found a ribbon the entire run.
Me too. I cleared crown, volcano, ice, except the last 2 chests, and then audio, marsh too as well for the floater. But then I didn't find any ribbons. Is it all on Earth?
One was in Sea Shrine.
Yeah, one was in Sea Shrine, and I have to assume the other 2 are in Mirage or Sky.
I think we already saw somebody had it by then. I thought it was in Earth.
Oh, okay, maybe.
So Len the Cat is working his way up through the Sky Castle. Will still not far behind him in the Mirage Tower. No Warmex sightings yet today. We're all very disappointed.
Yeah, I think I hit Bridge of Destiny with only 2 black mages up again, so Warmech would have been very bad for me.
Yeah, that could have gone a little rough. So just a handful of races left in this stage of the league. Anything you're thinking going into those?
I think I got my one semi-bad play seed out of the way, so I might actually have to do traditional things from here on out. Because I think what gave me second place was going to Marsh that early. When really, you should never go to Marsh without the crown. Unless you have to for the TNT.
No, I mean, if you have warp, Marsh is not a bad play.
Mm-hmm.
But then I'll tell you that's crazy, so you can't count him out.
Oh, is that what he did? He went in to Marsh with warp?
Without warp, I think.
No, he didn't have warp yet. He went there first. He didn't even have TNT yet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he checked Matoya and then gambled on TNT being in Marsh and found Floater instead.
Oh, so he just skipped Temple the first time entirely?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have done the same if Temple Fiends did not have a TNT. I would have went straight to Marsh
Mhm.
and then skipped the 2 chests in North Cave.
Len now on the fight with Tiamat. Didn't see anything too nasty out of this fight. And we won't this time either.
Oh, who needs Brack strats when Tiamat only has about 500 health?
Yeah, we saw Quad X actually finish him off after a hit or 2. I would figure that's Len's last orb, but I haven't seen his inventory.
No, why did Len run? Why did he run from the Tyro? Why?
Ain't nobody got time for steak.
That was either Len's last one or he still needs to do Earth. I'm not sure which yet, but the way he's flying looks like it's Earth. Will wrapping up his walk on the Bridge of Destiny. Last chance for Wormek, and we are all let down.
Curses. It's alright. Meridian's in Sea Shrine right now. We can all hope he gets Wormek.
He probably will, the way the rest of this has gone for him. So, by the way, if you'd like to find out more about the randomizer, we recommend the website, FinalFantasyRandomizer.com. You can also get to the Discord from there, which is the best place to get started with all of this. As Will picks up his 4th orb, and he'll be on his way to Temple of Fiends. Len coming up to the vampire fight.
And Will setting foot in Temple of Fiends and immediately runs into a worm.
Of course. Isn't that the way it goes? Next league race is going to be Monday night at 9 o'clock. We're looks like on the schedule for one of the Speed Gaming family of networks on 7 o'clock Wednesday. So after tonight, only 4 more races for this stage 4 of the league. And it's on to stage 5.
What was stage 5 again? Was that the knight and 3 white mages?
No, it's 3 black belt, 1 red mage.
Which could prove very interesting. You're not going to lack for melee firepower, but spells, they could be missing out on a lot. And Will gets by that. Almost there. Here's the Phantom for him.
Oh, Phantom going with Exfer instead of just outright punching out one of the black mages, and he's done.
That was quick. Will finishes in 4th place, a time of 1 hour, 37 minutes, 48 seconds.
So yeah, I think the next round will be kind of interesting just to see how many 2-person parties get run. You have to do things a lot differently if you're running a 2-person party, so it'll be very interesting to see how it turns out.
Yeah, that's going to be my initial strategy, is 2-person party unless I find a lot of castable items, because I'd rather just have warm bodies that can use items.
Yeah.
Or like you have to double the black belt if there's no spell for the red mages.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Miat strats. And we're joined by Will right now. GG, Will.
Looks like he's got to get set up for that. Fizzle, any final thoughts from you?
No, actually, this was relatively fun seed.
Well, thanks for giving us a good show. Minochi, any final words?
When will Volcano have both slap and floater? I keep on diving that first and it hasn't paid off at all.
Will Volcano have one of them?
Well, Will joins us now. Will, if you could find the right path, it was a very quick one. If you didn't, it took a little while to get there.
Guess which one I picked.
The right one. You picked the right path. You finished the game.
Well, if I don't trip over my own controller cord and die, I'm pretty much going to finish the seed. It's just a matter of when. But yeah, I felt like I didn't really make any actual mistakes. It was just routing. It was just choosing which places to go. I didn't make any strategic errors, so I'm not embarrassed with this result. Played as well
Okay.
as I could have.
It was interesting to see how rough that ice cave was, though. It was really loaded.
Wasn't very fun. Yeah, and dying at the very last step was fun. That's actually the second day in a row that's happened to me.
High five, man. Same thing happened to me again too.
Yeah, I think you said you were like three steps away from the door yesterday. That happened to you today again?
No, this one is like I picked up one chest and then 2 chests left, and then I died.
Oh, yeah.
What was
I'd
it?
already seen it. Go ahead.
What was in ice? I never went.
Squat.
No, like punch you in the face wise.
Well, wizards sucked. I mean, you had to have encountered them at least once or twice with Fire 2 spams, and that's what happened. I got hit with 3 consecutive Fire 2s, so not even my thief survived it.
Mm.
And,
There was toxic, poisoned, and then hit like a truck. Wraith, or is it Image? I don't remember which one.
Wraith's like a truck. Images, I don't think were any problem. Geist had, I think Geist had, what was it?
I know Geist said poison.
Poison? Okay. That might have been it. And, the Kraken fight, I ended up with just my thief, and I had already white-shirted, I think, about 6 or 7 times, so it was just picking away 30, 40, 50 damage at a time until I got through all, I'm guessing, about somewhere between 12 and 1500 HP. It was ridiculous.
And then the Quad X mummies were no fun either.
No. Reset out of a few of those fights. Yeah, it was a very difficult seed if you didn't go exactly where you had to go, and Artea magically has cracked the freaking Da Vinci Code on this game for the 17,000th time in a row, and just manages to go to the right place every single time. It's amazing. I wish I had the kind of luck he did. I'd play the lottery. Never seen anybody that spot on that often. I've seen him play. He's good, obviously. I talk to him all the time, but like that luck is just astoundingly good.
And we're joined by Len the Cat right now. GG, Len.
GG, buddy.
Thanks, guys. Oh, wow. What a troublesome seed.
You were able to get through it, though. Somebody mentioned earlier that they found the gas dragons to be paper, and that didn't seem to be the case for you.
They survived one nuke on the chin, but I was so close. I was thinking about maybe resetting out of the gas dragon fight, but I thought it would be faster to just try and kill them and run through, and it was.
And then glare one shot to one of your mages, which fortunately was not necessary to defeat Phantom.
You figure when you've got all those nukes, you probably can make it through there with 2 guys. You just have to make it to him, and you're probably going to kill him. The gas dragons are probably more dangerous than he is.
Wait, I missed it. What do the gas dragons have? Because they only ever did fog 2 at me.
They had glare.
Oh,
They took out
okay.
one of Lynn's people at the end there. So anything else about the seed really stand out to you, Lynn? Any highlights?
Just dumb, and I ended up 100%ing the game looking for the floater, and then 100%ing again looking for the slab. But that's really my own fault. This one really actually wasn't that weird a placement, but I looked places I shouldn't have.
Now, we saw a couple of people go after the crown, so you were not alone in that category. You were in good company.
I definitely did it.
I was really hoping for the slab to be in the TFC. Because I went for the crown, and then I got nothing out of that, so it was like my last chance.
I did the 3 bottom chests in that same room, and then I went up to mermaids. But that's where I would have gone next.
I think we're gonna wrap this one up. So, Will, any final thoughts from you?
Oh my goodness, man, that was brutal. And it was one of those seeds where you pick the right door, and you can walk on water, or you go the hard way and you walk on lava. So it was one of those for me.
Lynn, anything from you?
Level 2 nuke equals Artea lapping the field.
Well, if everybody went marsh first, I don't think it would be that far away.
Artea go marsh first?
Yep.
Well, finally, I'll say a big thank you to everyone who joined us tonight here on Speed Gaming. Hope you enjoyed the race. We saw a great effort from a lot of runners tonight. Thank you, Sho, who did a great job with the tracking tonight. It is always helpful to have somebody who did that. And I'll say thank you to my co-commentator, Edge. Pleasure as always. Take us home.
All right. Thanks again for the commentary, Trenton. Got to do this again sometime. Next stage for race will be Monday, February 19th at 9 p.m. Thanks to Feasel and Speed Gaming for helping us out. And that's about it. That's all that I have. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good night.
Hey everybody, we're just getting stuff set up. Little bit of technical difficulties on the commentating side. But yeah, just hang in there for a little bit. Hey Xcloud.
I am Tolu. I know, wait.
Oh my god. We can't find Tola right now, so Xcloud's gonna hop in for a little bit.
Yeah, until he arrives, hopefully soon enough. So, let's grab stuff to know about stuff, shall we? AKA the Shovel Knight leaderboard.
I keep forgetting to bring up the leaderboard when I commentate.
Oh yeah, there's one that is supposed. There's one on the. Oh yeah, it's not even there. It's gonna be interesting. Lancedrago. Oh yeah, but no, I'm not playing that. Well, I'm not gonna say anything because I nearly did the Spectre Knight tournament with a Spectre Knight low percent run, so...
Oh no. Yeah, Lance is, he started on low percent, and I think he submitted his, entry as low percent, so...
Yeah.
He's probably gonna be doing less strats. I can kind of tell because he's practicing Black Knight Theory right now, and he's not doing it with the staff.
Oh yeah. I mean, when you're doing a category and not the... Well, if you're doing a low percent and not an 8%, and you're participating in an 80% tournament, it might be better to not grab what 80% grabs, because...
Yeah.
It is very specific in a way, so yeah.
Especially if you're not used to stuff like, money management.
Yeah, there's that as well. But it is a good thing he doesn't have to worry about money, which is, in a way, good. And when you think about it, low percent is not that slower than 80%.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, Tolu's wall recon in low percent is 40-50 dodging coins, and current war record is 39.01. So like it's at worst right now a 2-minute difference, which is not a lot.
Yeah. Oh,
And
we
again,
have Tolo in here.
Hi,
Oh.
hello. It me.
Yeah, so I'm gonna leave the low percent master with you. Well, there's a Plague Knight low percent master at least.
Yeah, sorry, I dozed off for like a bit.
Thanks, Explode.
So yeah, I'm leaving.
Alright, cool. So, looks like we both have the dreams cropped here.
Yeah. You have the link to the thing, right?
I should have it somewhere. I don't know if it's changed since the last time I did this.
Okay, I'll DM it to you real quick.
I would appreciate that. Thank you. Hopefully my computer doesn't crash.
Oh no.
I did crash before. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Doo-doo-doo. Alright, everything seems good. Does my audio or does my mic sound good?
Yeah, you're good.
Cool.
Yeah, I think we should get started in a little bit. We're just waiting on I think Speed Gaming for us to give us a go ahead.
Hi, David. Shoutouts to David. He's a pretty cool guy.
Go say hi to David.
So I heard that Lance is actually doing this whole thing without any Arcana. Is this true?
Yeah, he's gonna do like the Naked Plague run.
Oh man. I don't know why he would do that.
He started learning at low percent, so that's just what he's gonna run with.
I guess sometimes it's best to go with what you're most comfortable with. But, yeah.
Oh my god, Pete's file name.
Mona Bay. Oh lord. Oh, the race has started on the IRC channel, so should be going here pretty soon. In a couple seconds. And here we go. So Pikapete here, I believe, has a advantage in terms of PB time versus lancedrago here. I believe Lance is one of the more players with like the most like lower seed, so it'll be interesting to see how he does, considering he also has like somewhat of a route disadvantage. We'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, so first thing we're gonna know is about Plague Knight. He jumps a lot. The big thing with Plague Knight's mobility is bomb burst buffering, so you'll jump, burst, jump, and then burst again. So spacing out those movements is very crucial to Plague speedrunning. Plains is a pretty straightforward level, it's a tutorial level. Coming up kinda soon is the first and only zip of the run, the bubble wrap, so see that a little bit.
It is actually more of a screen wrap than a zip, but people seem to conflate the two, I guess. I don't know, it's not really a big deal. That's kind of a pet peeve of mine, though. That's not really a zip, but you know. Alright, so Pika Pete coming up to it. Oh, he misses it. He was, I think it was a little bit high on the previous screen. Alright, there you go.
It's not too hard to get, but it can be a little bit tricky. So this is Black Knight 1. We fight him 3 times. Spoilers. He can be kind of a tricky of a boss, especially for like a first boss. But if you can get him in the corner and just stun him like that, he's no problem. You just don't want to breaking out of it. Just to note, on Lance's screen when he got the wrap, stuff kind of went a little bit weird there. That's what happens if your altitude isn't correct.
No, actually his wrap was fine. He just missed... When he loaded the final screen in the wrap, he just didn't burst right away.
Yeah. So, Pete's entering village real quick. With Shovel you can enter and then just exit, but Plague has a little bit of extra stuff to do. Basically this is the first time you're going to the hub, where you meet Mona, who's like your assistant, and plot stuff. You basically come back here after every Order of No Quarter stage you beat.
Sometimes actually bombing this house can be a little bit tricky because it's like those barrels are in a really awkward spot.
This is Pridebar Keep. Again, another straightforward level. It's within the first 2 stages. Again, not terribly hard. There's rats. Rats are kind of... They're a little bit RNG, whether they'll go or stop or just stay there. Bookrum was coming up in a little bit. Bookrum's a little bit scary, but it's alright.
I think in many ways, Primore is actually an easier stage than Plains, because Plains has a couple of really tricky parts to it, but for this stage is it's kind of pretty easy going in my opinion.
The only thing is some of the ceilings are a little bit low, so bursting over stuff is a little bit weird, but it's not that hard.
Yeah, it definitely gets used. You have to get used to those ceilings timing wise. We're doing pretty good so far.
So this is Bookrum. Just kind of timing your jumps to the pot cycles is a little bit tricky, but Pete got through it okay. Pete's coming up on King Knight. Again, not a terribly hard boss. You just kind of want to get him to the corner. Get him up for the King Fetty. If you get the King Fetty, then you've been dragging the battle on a little bit too
Oh, what the
long.
heck? King Knight jumped in the opposite direction that he was supposed to after he did his ground slam. Oh, Lance died, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Oh, he died. That wasn't too bad. He maybe lost 8 seconds because of that.
Yeah, the checkpoint was right there. Rat Room is a little bit scary. I didn't see exactly how he died there. But again, Lance runs low percent. So he might have the muscle memory to avoid some of the green coins. He picked one up right there, but
oh no.
Yeah, his positioning might be a little bit off for some of these jumps because of low percent strats.
Yeah, it kind of looks like he's like he's avoiding them a little bit more than you should. His burst patterns seem a little bit unusual. Now Pikapete has entered the Lich Yard, which is a kind of a pretty okay stage, except with some tricky parts.
Frogs are impossible.
Yeah, frogs are actually impossible. Alright, so have Drago here fighting King Knight. He seems to be having a little bit of issues, not really following him around super well. It looks like he's gonna get King Fetty, actually. Oh no, here we go. The trumpets.
Just before the King Fetty.
Usually if King does King Fetty, that actually puts you in a pretty decent position to do damage, since he actually like stands still during that attack.
So the room Pete's getting through is actually impossible. There's these platforms that will only move up and down if there's two objects on it. You're gonna want to get the skull from the right side of the screen to the left side of the screen, while this RNG frog is potentially bodying you in a dark room. So yeah, that room's awful. Another dark, a little bit scary room, but most runners can get through pretty okay. It's really scary.
That's probably the hardest room on this level, for sure. But now we have red guy over here. Let's see what strat he's gonna do. He's probably gonna do this strat. This is like the standard strat you do for this guy.
Yeah,
for his second scythe throw, he can either appear left or right at the bottom, and he actually got the left spawn, which is the one you want, which is closer to you, and you can just bomb him from the top. So here we see lancedrago entering the first, I don't know what you would call them, the Skella platforms, which are like the unique type of platform to like this stage.
I don't think anyone's ever come up with a name for these platforms.
If you actually look closely, like at the right below the platform, there's like a bunch of like really spooky skeletons holding up. And like if you actually look really closely, it's actually kind of horrifying, honestly.
They like open their mouth.
Yeah, they do. They're actually screaming in agony every time you're on the platform. It's pretty messed up.
So, Pete's entering the Explodatorium, which is Plague Knight's home. So Plague Knight is the boss of this stage normally, but not in this campaign because you're Plague Knight. Why would you fight yourself? Spoilers, you do at the end of the game, but not here. That's weird. Oh
my god! I can't believe he slid through that rat.
God. This stage runs on global cycles for the pots and fire coming up later on in the level. So you're gonna want to be fast to get through this level.
Yeah, I think he nailed the first cycle pretty well. He got a really nice burst pattern through that room.
Coming up is the mini boss of this stage, the Alchemeister. He's a guy with a beard who turns into a fluffy white monster. It's not that hard, just gotta do as much damage as you can during his first phase. Just clean it up on the second. Yeah, so this is where the global cycles come into play. Where Pete had to stop right there, that's where you want to be a little bit fast to catch the cycle. You can grab the ladder right here instead of having to climb it all the way up.
lancedrago's having a real hard... Oh man, he died unfortunately right as he only had 2 hits left.
Spectre's kind of a tricky boss. So, for the Explodatorium's boss, you're gonna want to manage your health. You want to be, like, 2 heart bubbles or less to set it up, because surprise, the boss of the Exploratorium is Shovel Knight. So you're gonna want to bait him into this corner right here, and if you're 2 health bubbles or less, he won't use the phase locket. And basically you're just gonna want to dig him into this hole. The Pity Pit, the Crying Crater, the Tantrum Trench. There's a lot of names.
Actually,
one of them...
he actually got the Icor skip, which is pretty neat.
There's a lot of names for that hit, one of which we can't see on Speed Gaming.
Yeah, if you get the Icor skip is when Shovel Knight uses the Warhorn like right as he's about to use his like health potion. So if you hit him during that, he doesn't actually drink and heal. That saves about, I think it's about 5 seconds or so. It's pretty nice if you can get it.
Oh yeah, really quick, both runners are using palette color codes. It's purely aesthetic, just changes the color of Plague Knight.
Yep.
So Pete's on the Iron Whale, your standard water level. Water physics are kind of weird, especially since Plague does a lot of jumping, but it's not a really big deal. Coming up soon are these tentacles. You're gonna want to hit like the tip of the tentacle to like make them go away. Should be coming up, not in this room, but I think in the next... Yeah, right here.
I'm actually pretty surprised that Pete actually just slid over the top of that mid-boss. I believe that particular mid-boss has like a weird hitbox at the top.
The Gulper Mage?
Yes, whatever it is you just said. I'm sorry, that's not a mid-boss. This is the mid-boss.
Yeah, that's the mid-boss.
Yeah.
This is Teethalon, or as everyone calls it, 420 Fish. The first part of it is an auto-scroller. It spits out these fish. Eventually it'll come to a stop and you'll fight it. The weak point is the little orb in the treasure chest that you're gonna have to hit. It's called 420 Fish because it's always just a little bit too high.
Or he's always a bit too left or right.
Yeah.
So the Flip Flopper, an alternative possible name maybe?
Oh my god.
Anyway, lancedrago is fighting the Alchemeister here. Looks like he's doing a pretty decent job. lancedrago does have about a stage behind at this point, so we'll see if he's able to recover later on.
He's coming up on Treasure Knight. Not a terribly difficult boss. He can be a little bit RNG though, like whether he decides to go and like how he decides to hook over the stage and stuff like that. Lance is a little bit low on health.
Oh, yeah, he is.
He can get through this okay. Maybe he pick up the tonic.
Yeah, he is going back for the tonic.
Okay, good.
Oh god.
I don't want to quaff that.
He could Pete. Oh man, is he gonna get mugged? He is dead. Might as well reset after this. He's not actually gonna reset, it's just really embarrassing if that happens to you.
So Lance is at full health for Shovel. I'm not sure if he knows about the strat.
He's still gonna go for the initial setup. Oh, but Shovel Knight shuffles out of it anyway.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. Let's see how good he is at fighting Shovel Knight vanilla. Looks like he's not really used to it.
Yeah, so if you're ever in a situation where you've gotten yourself to like max health for this battle, you're just gonna want to go to the other room, like get damaged by that plague minion that's right at the entrance to get your health low enough.
It does look like he's kind of building the stir here in order to hit him easier.
Yeah.
Which isn't...
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So Pete's on Lost City, which I like to call Time Lost City, or Lost.jpg City, because it's a lava level, which is kind of scary, it's dangerous. There's two pseudo auto-scrollers in this level, the two beetles that walk across lava. Basically as play you can just burst over them. They're a little bit scary, but not too difficult. I think that kind of like sums up this game. It's a really scary game. Some parts aren't too difficult, but they can get real scary. Another thing with this level, the green goo is bouncy and it'll turn the lava into safe bouncy green goo for a limited time only.
If you bounce on the green balls, you'll also get your double jump back. This is probably one of the trickiest screens here, the Pika on. Okay, he just waited, but he gets hit by the lava.
Yeah, the lava cycles are scary.
Just gonna pick up the safety health there. That's not a great place to get health. It's a little bit too time costly, but it's better than going into this boss fight with only 2 hits left.
Yeah, Mole Knight, you're gonna wanna get him before he digs back into the ground. Fortunately, he'll stop at the opposite side of the screen that you're on like that, and then you can just wail on him. But if Pete didn't get Mole Knight before he dug back into the ground, you'll have to play whack-a-mole with him, and then he'll spew some lava, and then go back to like diving across the screen. They waste a lot of time.
Okay.
Yeah, good tentacle run from Lance.
Looks like he was gonna drop into the spikes there for a second. I was a bit scared. It is worth noting that you do get a health upgrade every time you finish a world, so every set of 3 stages.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have a choice in the matter, they just give it to you. For free.
Lance is getting a little bit bodied by... oh no.
Oh no, this would be a really bad... oh no.
Oh.
That's a really bad boss to die on. Since he has to go through the entire auto-scroller.
Yeah. So Pete's on a flying machine, which if you've ever played it as Shovel, you'll know this is an awful, terrifying level. It's still kind of terrifying in Plague. Hover meanings or Jawas are still as scary in Plague as they are in Shovel. They're scary in every single campaign. This is where we'll buy the only Arcana in the standard any % route. The Staff of Striking or the Slap Staff, whatever you want to call it. Oh, he's a little bit... okay. Health's a little bit low going into this mid-boss. You're gonna need 9,000 gold to get it. Normally in your standard Plague playthrough, not a speedrun, there's 2 ways you can get Arcana. You'll find the relic that you find in Shovel Knight stage in another room, and then you can bring it to Chester, who will just give you the Arcana for free in exchange for the relic. Or you have to pay like usually an insane amount of money, in this case 9,000 for the staff. Money management still applies here, because you're gonna want to grab some magic upgrades, so you can use the staff more.
Oh, what? Okay. I didn't know you could,
Did you go under the missile to...
Lance actually did the moving platform clip when he didn't need to.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny, actually.
Yeah, he's running on a, low %.
Yeah. The way he did it, too, was, like, really weird. I've never seen that setup where he just stands still and he clips to the platform anyway.
Yeah. Oh god, Lance, please take a tonic.
I believe he should take the health at the end here. Oh my god. So this room that, well actually, let's see how Lance does versus Treasure Knight here. Oh boy. Okay, he's not gonna go up. Yeah, oh my goodness, what is this pattern? Sometimes Treasure Knight will sort of try to fake you out and he'll like dash left and right, or like sometimes he'll go like all the way across the screen like he just did to Lance. Although he's usually, from personal experience, he's more likely to just go left and right, but it's actually pretty rare that he goes full screen with dashes like that.
So, Pete tried to do Windrum, and so, yeah, this room is scary. What Pete tried to do earlier was that, but he went a little bit too close to the spikes. And he got through that okay. Coming up is Propeller Knight, which even both casually and in the speedrun, Propeller Knight's just kind of awful. The staff makes this fight a little bit easy. Basically, like, you want to do as much damage to him as he's charging at you, and when he's in the sky and he's calling on the ship, you're gonna want to use a staff on him.
Well, that was a pretty decent kill from Pete there. Looks like Lance died in the big beetle room, maybe? I didn't see exactly where he died.
Same.
But Lance is now 2 stages behind, so he really needs to get stuff going, or else he's gonna fall really behind.
Looks like he's taking it a little bit slow.
Oh, he actually. Oh man. Yeah, a lot of his low percent muscle memory seems to not be helping him at all, because like going under there is pretty slow, like that. Alright, so Pete's doing the setup for Black Knight 2, which is pretty much the same thing as Black Knight 1, except it's a little bit harder because you have a smaller frame window to hit him in the corner.
And he has double health too, compared to the first fight.
Yeah, he also has like a dash, which pretty much gets him out of the corner like almost instantly. Like if you let him walk around too much, he'll do that, which is bad.
So because plot reasons, Mona is no longer the person who's standing in the room, offering you bomb upgrades. It's Percy for the next couple stages. For a brief moment there, you can see Sad Mountain. Oh
my god.
Oh, Jesus. So this is a stranded ship. It's the ice level. Ice physics isn't a super big deal on this level, because we just burst over a lot of it. But it's still scary because a lot of the enemies do a lot of damage to you. Also, the concept of ladders is scary in this level. Oh, and Lance taking another death. He didn't have enough health.
Every time I take a ladders, I'm terrified.
Yeah.
They have so many rungs. Why do they have so many rungs?
Oh my god.
It keeps me up at night. I just can't look away.
Yeah, my split name for this level is 8-Bit Canada.
Oh, okay, there you go. Alright, so Lance is fighting Mole Knight here. He didn't get very many hits in the dive phase, unfortunately. So it looks like he will dig underground here.
Yep.
Which is really unfortunate.
Yeah, Mole Knight's gonna go for another set of dives. Pete just took a death. Oh, got set back without 1 checkpoint. Lance cleaning up Mole Knight there.
Ooh. Yeah, this room is really tricky. The one that Pete just passed.
Basically, every single Viking in this stage can body you. Both the ones with the spears and the ones on the ladders. It's terrifying.
You can do damage boost off these hammers here, like Pika Pete just did, but it's kind of difficult to plan
so
for.
Scary. This room and the last room and this other room are the reason why I hate ladders in this game.
I actually have absolutely no idea what just happened there to Pika Pete, because like he burst and like he killed the Viking that was left to him, but not the one that was above him. So I have
That's yeah.
I don't know what happened there.
So this room is kind of scary. If you deboost through most of it, it's not super bad, but it's scary. Pete's about to fight Polar Knight. He also reveals spikes, throws snowballs at you. Not a terribly hard boss, especially if you deboost and you're standing on spikes, you're pretty much fine. Staff helps out a lot too.
Except he didn't use it at all, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's staff on this fight, I believe, doesn't save that much time. You can still get a pretty good fight and not use staff.
So I just noticed Lance is at Polar Knight stage right now. I don't think he did Propeller yet.
Yeah, he did not do Propeller. I guess he's just used to doing this stage order because of low percent.
He doesn't have to go to Flying Machine first, since he's not picking up the staff.
Oh.
So I guess Pete's also picking up magic upgrades after Tinker Knight, after he's finished all the order stages.
Oh my god, Lance, please. Yeah, man, these, like, that room in particular, like, he actually did, like, a really weird burst pattern because of, again, he's used to low burst and he made that, like, way harder than it is.
Oh, so, Lance opened that room, to get the health. That room can be kind of scary, or, like, if you're not thinking about it, there's a bomb in there right before the chicken. So if you're at like half a heart, you're like, oh boy, chicken, and then suddenly there's a bomb. It's awful.
Oh no.
No. Oh,
oh, dude, nice save, my dude. Completely intentional, I bet.
So, Pete's on Clockwork Tower. He's doing the.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Damn.
He's doing the pseudo auto scroller skip. Basically there's a lot of damage boosting over this pit of spikes. Normally you would have to ride that platform through the entire room, but we're plagued, so we can just boost over everything. Also, Pete not taking the checkpoint. It's not too hard this level, but it's right there in a race. It's probably a good idea to take it, but not too far to the next checkpoint and the boss now. Just one more auto scroller to get through.
Lance having a real hard time with these sets of screens after this checkpoint. This screen in particular is like actually no joke. Alright, Lance, you can do it. Oh man. Sometimes it's just easier to take like a front-facing damage boost, and then Jesus.
God. That room is awful.
Yeah, man. Alright, Pikapete. He's finding Tinker Knight. And he's dead. And, sorry, and he's dead. There you go.
Oh my god, the floor broke.
Oh no. Oh my god, he brought out his toy.
So, Tinker Tank, again, isn't super hard. If your positioning's a little bit off, it can be kind of weird. This boss is exactly why we have the staff. When the Tinker Tank is reeling back, you can kind of get him in the while he's in the wall. So usually you'd get a magic upgrade before this stage, so you have a little bit of extra mana to use the staff a little bit more. So it's still a good fight from Pete. But not as clean as it could be. Also with Lance taking another death.
Also, I did not check if Pikapete actually had enough money to buy magic upgrades before he entered Clockwork.
He had like 10,000 at the end of Polars, maybe.
Oh, he might have been a bit short and then he didn't get the upgrade. Because if you want both magic upgrades, it's 10k.5, I believe.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, he's gonna get his upgrades now. And we saw lancedrago here. He actually died in this room that he's at right now, although he's gonna get through it. He's not gonna pick up the health before the boss, but 4 health should be enough for Polar Knight. After Lance beats Polar Knight, he is going to be 2 stages behind. He still has to do Flying Machine and Clockwork Tower. He's kind of having... Oh, no.
So Pete's coming up on Tower 1. These next stages are kind of like Wily stages in which they basically throw everything at you that you've been learning throughout the whole game. Coming up after this room is the Crusher room. Basically, there's a way to skip the big crushers in a little bit. It's called Crusher Skip. It looks scary, not super hard to do, but still, especially in a race, some runners might opt to take it safe and slow.
Yeah, with this character,
yeah, you got it.
With this character, that screen is actually not super bad.
Still looks super scary though. These next rooms, the Chandelier and Liquid Samurai rooms, not too terrible to get through, but you can get completely bodied between the Liquid Samurai and the little chompy guys. He opting to take the high road on that screen. It's a little bit slower but safer. It's the bottom road with the spikes is kind of scary.
Well, looks like Lance kind of got the lock in the corner there for a little bit, but he Black Knight got out of it, unfortunately.
Yeah, he's trying to get it.
He does have a couple tonics here, so he can use them if he takes too many hits. Looks
So
like Pete...
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, he got the teleport. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I believe his teleport wastes like, I think 5 seconds or so, because you can't actually hit him like while he's going all over the screen and doing stuff. And now he's entered his flying phase, which makes him really hard to hit. Like he moves in a certain pattern depending on like when he transforms. At the end here, you want to end the fight towards the right here, so that you don't have to walk all the way to the door once the fight ends.
Yeah, if you end up on the left side of the screen, it's called the Walk of Shame. But yeah, Black Knight 3 is a pretty difficult boss. As you saw, he grows wings and stuff like that, and you kind of gotta chase him around the room, but he'll also, like, sometimes stuff will just body you in that fight.
Lance, no, don't take the bottom route. No. Oh, he actually burst through that cog.
Oh.
Which is actually kind of precise, oddly enough. Yeah, there's a lot of rooms in low percent that are, like, kind of silly. So, like, I mean, man, this is kind of killing me right now, because he could be doing these rooms, like, he could be having such an easier time if he just, you know, chose the right path, so...
Pete just got through what we call the Mario Maker room. I call it the Slime Rancher room just because there's so many slimes. There's just some hidden in the blocks. And then there's just so many enemies in that room for no good reason.
Lance is really, really low on health, so...
I don't think he's gonna be able to do the...
Oh, yeah.
Skip.
Unless he uses a health tonic.
Oh,
yeah. I don't think he noticed he was, like, really low on health.
At least the checkpoint was, like, right there, so not super big time loss, but still. Pete's in an auto-scroller right now,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, did you say pizza?
Pete apostrophe S.
Okay.
Pizza Pete. He's in an auto-scroller right now. If you're close enough to the top, basically the blocks will spawn in on you, so sometimes the screen will scroll and you'll just be in dirt.
I love pizza. I want pizza right now, as a matter of fact.
Pizza's good.
So, okay. I am actually not too familiar with, like, how... Oh, he still... Okay, he got the turkey there. Some people, do prefer to enter the boss rush with lower health, because you do need to have low health to actually do the last boss of the boss rush effectively.
Yeah, so basically, as the boss rush name implies, you're gonna be fighting all the knights that you've beaten already. Polar Knight will always show up in the first 3, but other than that, the order of knights, the order of the order, is completely random. Also, Shovel Knight's always at the end too. So again, like the Explodatorium fight, you're gonna want to be at less than 2 health bubbles to stun lock Shovel Knight effectively. The real, like, enemy, I guess, of this whole boss rush is the dinner plates with the chicken. Basically, health management is a thing in this entire fight, but sometimes the dinner plate will open up and you'll just fall into the chicken when you really don't want it.
Also, you really don't want to end the fight with no magic. Since your mana constantly regenerates as Plague Knight, but if you completely run out of magic, you have to wait until your mana completely regenerates to full before you can use it again.
Mm-hmm. So, Lance taking on Tinker Knight. If you do this staffless, there's kind of a place you can line up with the tank. Where he's standing, what I do, I'll jump a little bit and I'll get the bombs to be thrown at just the right angle that they can fall on Tinker. But you got through that okay.
Treasure Knight is kind of a pain in the boss rush, since like sometimes he'll like move in an odd way.
Yeah, his movements are RNG.
Don't get mugged again. Okay, there you go.
I think Lance just has Propeller Knight to go. Yep, just Propeller Knight.
Spectre Knight, probably the hardest boss to face in boss rush, since... Oh no, he was like an inch away.
Oh no.
From getting all the staff hits, unfortunately, so he just whiffed everything. Oh no. Yeah, his later like attack cycles can be really difficult to predict. Like right there, he just kind of stopped Ruben and spawned darkness, or skeletons rather. He might. Oh no, okay. He got a second pair of blocks, so he's not gonna burrow on the ground.
So Pete is he has a little bit too much health to get the stun lock. Yeah, Shovel Knight's gonna use the phase locket. I mean, ideally you want to be at less than 2 health for this fight, but if you're not super good at getting the stun lock on him, it's completely fine to just take it at full health. Do as much damage as you can. If you end up getting bodied, and you end up at less than 2 health anyway, you can just clean it up after, hopefully.
Ooh. That was a pretty good fight. That wasn't bad. Looks like... Alright. You can actually kill the boat there. Like, oh, don't go back in there. If you actually go back in there and you leave the screen before, like, the boss is, like, completely dead, the boss will actually respawn. But right there, he actually disappeared completely, so it wouldn't have been an issue. But that is a thing in this game that you have to look out for.
Yeah, so Lance skipping out on the Staff of Striking room. I guess he's used to running low percent, so he doesn't pick that up. So Naked Plague run for him. Pete's coming up on Tower 3, or he's in Tower 3. This first room, the tiled room, not super hard, just gotta make sure you time out your burst correctly, don't fall into the lava. This room coming up, you can just, burst across. A little bit weird, but if you just burst, usually, and let me highlight and underline in bold, usually you'll be safe.
Usually.
Usually.
It's still a little bit scary though.
So this is Enchantress. What you want to do is get enough damage in before, she starts her dives. Then you can go under the stage and just finish her off. But it's really scary and it's kind of hard.
What?
Oh, he's
Oh, okay.
You got it.
I don't really say that setup too often, but... Actually, I believe that's the setup I used to do like a billion years ago. Actually, I forget so much about what I used to do, but that looks pretty cool, nevertheless.
So the final level has 3 bosses. Enchantress, coming up is the Plague of Shadows, which is basically, Shovel Knight's Plague AI fight, I guess is what you would call it. There's a really dumb strat, which I do. I basically stand still on this boss for about 35 seconds. You can do the fight like a lot quicker, but at least it's consistent. Basically after 35 seconds, the Plague of Shadows won't hurt you at all, and a little text box will pop up. Then you can just press start, skip the text box, and you'll get through it. Also, Lance having some trouble in this stage. Did he die in the auto-scroller?
He died twice in the auto-scroller.
Oh god. Did he try to avoid a coin, or just...
I'm not sure. I didn't really... I only saw when he died twice. Like every time he died. But yeah, Pete's on the last boss here, so he's almost done. So Pete's going to be trying to take out the bottom part of this boss, which is the pink goo ball, which will stun him and will actually allow him to do damage.
Yeah, you can only damage this boss when its mouth is open and hit the little pink tongue in the mouth. You can actually like one cycle this boss. 2 is good. Sometimes 3. You can damage this boss like before you even get to hit the bottom part, and like when this boss opens up, it opens his mouth and it shoots these like broccoli bird things out of his mouth. You can actually use the staff or any bombs or anything like that to damage it, but it's kind of RNG whether the broccoli shoots up or down. So Pete just finished up his match. Good job on Pete's end. Oh, Lance still having trouble in Flying Machine. Lance is behind a lot, but you gotta remember he's a fairly new runner and he's learned on low percent, which is a lot harder, so he's running on a lot of autopilot, avoid the coin strats, which might take a little bit longer.
Looks like he's having a little bit of a hard time here. Oh, he was trying to do like a specific setup there to get over that block, but looks like he messed up a little bit. Fell a bit short. Oh!
Ooh. Yeah, when
He
was
was,
hard.
I think he was trying to do a damage boost off that rep, but for some reason he burst. It does look like Lance is unfortunately going to be forfeiting, according to the race channel. So, yeah, that's really unfortunate. Lance is, I thought he had maybe practiced like the any percent route, like a little bit, maybe, like just the way through the stages at least. But it looks like he had like kind of a hard time, just because like a lot of the rooms in low percent are not easy with with some of the ways you have to dodge coins. It's pretty difficult. So maybe next time Lance actually does another match, he'll have a easier time if he practices a little bit. But yeah, that's pretty rough.
Yeah, but good job on him. Like, low percent isn't easy at all. And I'm glad that he like still tried, even though he had a kind of a, I guess, low time compared to a lot of the other runners.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, a lot of the I think pretty much everyone in this tournament was sub 50, I think, besides maybe Lance. I think Pete wants to come in for an interview.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah, you can come in if he wants to.
Hello.
Hello. That was certainly a run that happened.
Yeah, I saw in the chat that you PB'd.
Yeah, that was actually somehow that was a 3-second PB, despite a couple dumb stuff. I can't speak. There was some dumb stuff
Oh my
in
god.
that run. That's all I'm gonna say. Like I had the stream open, and I could hear the commentary, and like I actually just forgot to upgrade my staff because I used to do it after Black Knight 2, and then I changed my route, so like I just kind of forgot to do it because now I do it after Stranded Ship, not after Black Knight 2.
Oh no, man. Still a really good run.
Yeah, it was okay. I mean, it was a PB, but like not that good of a PB. I golded Boss Rush and Lich Yard. Lich Yard and Boss Rush both not by much.
I'm actually curious. Did you actually like have? You said you had the commentary open. Was that like? Is that like actually what you want, or like why is that?
Oh my god.
Because a lot of people don't do that.
Well, for this match in particular, I have no idea how Lance like actually plays because I didn't see any percent submissions for him on speedrun.com. So at first I had the stream open like on the side on my phone because I just wanted to see like if I'd be behind or if I would be ahead, like just kind of to see like how I had to play, like if I could go for safe strats or if it was worth going for fast strats. And then I saw I was kind of ahead in the beginning, and then I just decided to do a PB attempt, like a regular PB attempt. So I went for the flying machine, 1 cycle wind tunnel, and like a good enchantress fight and stuff like that after I saw that I had time to spare. And then after a while I just turned on the commentary because I was just curious as to what was being said, and it's sometimes I like to do PB attempts like with music on or listening to a podcast or something anyway. So it was like listening to a podcast about me.
Oh my god, dude.
Wait, was I the one that was making you mad?
Oh yeah, dude, you were infuriated.
Oh my god.
Everything you said was wrong. I swear to God, dude.
What?
0 out of 10 commentary, man.
Oh man, unbelievable! I can't.
I'm just kidding. You guys both did a good job.
All right. Cool.
But yeah, things in that run that I can improve. Very clearly not dying in Flying Machine and Stranded Ship, and I got a really bad Plague of Shadows fight because at the beginning I was intending to burst at him, but then I just kind of didn't. Like my controller like dropped the burst, or I let it go too early before I actually could, so that led to a bad fight on that part. I lost like 5 seconds. And then 3 Cycle Essence, the big meme.
Yeah, it was a pretty decent run.
Yeah, I keep having PBs on runs where I don't think that I will PB, and then I PB by like a millisecond. So I just need to get like a good run, and then I'll have a thick PB.
Yeah, that's what we all want, the thick PB.
I've never heard a PB described as thick, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, everyone
I'll get a big,
that,
nice
right?
one by like a minute.
Oh my god.
That'll happen when I finally get a proper boss rush. I got hit into the chicken this time.
Oh no. So I'm not sure what's on Speed Gaming next. I forgot to check the schedule. But we should wrap it up here. So no matches tomorrow, but on Tuesday, will be King Captain versus Oddbod at I think 11 a.m. EST. I don't think we have a channel yet. So Oddbod was world record holder until like 2 days ago. Something like 2 days ago. It was like really recent. So that'll probably be an interesting match. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Good match. So I'm gonna be signing off.
Yo, peace.